Welcome to Monday Motivation. Now, this podcast is not going to be long enough to even get you to work, but it will give you a lot to work on, because the most important thing you can work on in life is yourself. Welcome to this new podcast season called Life is a Climb. Now, we're releasing this podcast at the beginning of the year, so if you're listening to this in January, Happy New Year to you. A new year is always a great opportunity for a new beginning, a new mindset, a new rhythm to your life. People are joining the gym, getting on a diet, deciding to do different things. But listen, whenever you're listening to this, whether it's the beginning of the year or not, it's never too late in the year or in your life to start over, to have a new beginning, to make some new resolutions. So this is a great podcast if you're starting a new year. It's also a great podcast if you're starting a new job, you're starting a new relationship, or you're just wanting to change your mindset. You're just wanting to get a new perspective on your life or take a fresh new look at the opportunities you have in front of you. So the bottom line is this: life is a climb. And the sooner you recognize that, the better off you're going to be. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take my love of mountain climbing and specifically look at a climb I took with my son a few years ago when we climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. I want to share with you 5 principles that Mount Kilimanjaro taught me that apply to every area of your life. We're going to cover one lesson per episode and then do an interview or two at the end of the season so we can see how some other people have applied the lessons we're going to walk through to their own life, to their own climb. So here's the backstory. 7 years ago, I decided I was going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Now, it's the tallest mountain in Africa. It's the highest freestanding mountain in the world. And I would imagine there are several people listening to me that have climbed some type of mountain. Maybe you've done the Appalachian Trail, which is a little over 6,000 feet above sea level. Or maybe you've climbed a 14er in the Rockies. There's several mountains in the Rockies that are over 14,000 feet. Well, Mount Kilimanjaro is 19,400 feet. Now, it's not the tallest mountain on the planet. That's Mount Everest, of course. Someone is always taking a bigger climb than you are. Mount Everest is so much bigger than Mount Kilimanjaro that just the base camp of Mount Everest, where you start the climb, is 17,000 feet. So a lot of people have a life goal, a dream of getting to 17,000 feet at base camp Mount Everest. But climbers who've done both Mount Kilimanjaro and base camp Everest say that Mount Kilimanjaro is harder. Now, either way, it was quite a climb for me. And over the next several episodes, I want to share with you how my oldest son and I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. It was definitely the experience of a lifetime. So here's the plan. I'll tell you a few stories along the way about the climb, but definitely the goal is not to get you to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. The goal of this season is to motivate you with 5 lessons that I've learned from Kilimanjaro that are going to help you on your climb called life. So let's dive in today with principle number 1, lesson number 1, and here it is: get a dream. Now, this is a very important principle, a very important lesson. You can't go any further without this lesson: get a dream. You need a dream for your life. And once you get that dream, write it down and then share it with some close friends. So lesson number 1, get a dream. Now, you know how I got to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro? I decided to do it. So why'd you do that? Well, why not? I want to encourage you to get a why not for this year, for this new season, for this new chapter of your life, and say, you know what? I'm going to aim high. I'm going to go big. I'm going to do something significant. Listen, if your dream is just to get your kids to baseball practice, just to get your kids to dance recital, if your dream is to make sure all your bills are on automatic payment, if your dream is, I'm going to clean off my desk every Thursday, listen, go back to the drawing board. You need to dream again. If your biggest dream is getting to Florida on vacation this year, get a dream. You need to dream again. How about this dream for a parent? I'm going to influence and equip my kids to change the world. Now that's a dream. And once you have a dream, then you can make some goals. Now goals get you to the dream. Goals are subsets to the dream. My dream, I'm going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Now, that was a big dream that needed some goals as well. But at least for me, it was a big dream. And you know how I got to the top? I decided that was my dream. I wrote down, I'm going to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I'm going to do it. And I told some other people I was going to do it. Now, this big dream harnessed my attention and my energy, and that's why you need to get a dream. Did you know that a flashlight and a laser use the same amount of energy? Most people are flashlights. They're just trying to do everything. They're so scattered that they really don't make a tremendous impact on anything because they're trying to do everything. Now, a dream is like a laser. A laser uses the same amount of energy, and we've all got the same amount of energy, but it's focused, and therefore it makes tremendous impact. It's where we get the term laser focused. And so I want to encourage you to get a dream, because a dream focuses my energy, my time, my money on a target. You see, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. You can't do everything. You can't be a flashlight in life, but you can do almost anything that you set your mind to, given enough time and enough tenacity and enough laser focus. I love this verse in the Bible. It's in Philippians chapter 3, verse 13. And it says this, I focus on this one thing. I laser focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. What are you focused on? What is your dream? Notice Philippians 3:13 says, I focus on one thing. Get laser focused. And I love the second part of the verse too. It says, in order to get laser focused on one thing, you have to forget the past. You have to stop living in the past. Stop looking to the past hurts or past successes. So whether you've got a lot of mountaintops in your past or you've got a lot of valleys in your past, look forward to the future. Even if you've had a setback this past year, or maybe you've slid down the mountain, so to speak, in some areas of your life, forget the past. Get laser focused on what lies ahead of you. Don't live in the past. Get a dream for your future. So a little bit more of the backstory. My son Will and I decided to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, but really what we were doing is we wanted to raise money for my other son Eli's village in Ghana, Africa. Now, our family adopted Eli when he was 7 years old. When he was 2 years old, his dad had died. And when he was 4 years old, his mom said, I'm going to the market, but never came back. So his mom abandoned him. He was being raised by his grandmother. And Eli came into our lives from a very difficult condition and village and region of the world. He came from an area of the world known as West Africa. And now the village Eli is from is northern Ghana. And in this village, there's no running water, there's no electricity, there's one doctor for every 189,000 people. So Will and I came up with an idea. Let's climb a mountain in East Africa to help people in West Africa. And let's get some other people to go with us, and everybody get some sponsors. And the higher we get, the more money we raise for clean water, for education, for access to medical care in this very poor region of northern Ghana. That was the dream. And spoiler alert, we did it. We actually accomplished it because of all 5 lessons I'm going to share with you in this season of this podcast. So lesson number 1 is critical. It's how any climb starts. It's what your life needs. It's what every area of your life needs. Get a dream. Aim your life at something. Aim your life at something significant and then go for it. Life is a climb. That means it's going to take work to get your dream. You can't just write it down and then just walk away. So if you're not working hard at a dream, you're missing out on a lot of satisfaction in life. It takes no effort to get to the wrong place. So if you have no money in the bank, you're overweight, and you have no true friends, you didn't have to do much to get to that place. You see, that means if you're going downhill right now in your life, you're probably going the wrong way. Going downhill may be initially more fun, but you won't get to the great views in life. If you don't have a dream, you don't have a mountain to climb, you will eventually coast into a valley, and life will get darker and darker. Instead of an adventurous climb, you'll exist in the valley of the average. You want to be average, or you want to live an adventure? You want to live an adventure, get a dream. Get a dream, or you will drift. You never drift toward anything good. I remember when my parents would take us on vacation this summer and we'd go to the beach. And as a kid, they would tell me, if you go out in the water, stay in front of us, right where we're sitting. Stay in front of us. And when you're out in that water, I'd get out in the water. I'd get out in those waves. I would start playing, and I was playing in the waves, playing with my friends. And I'd get my eyes off the beach, of course, and I was just enjoying the waves. Now, you already know what happened. When I finally looked around to find my parents, they had moved all the way down the beach. No, they actually didn't move at all. I had drifted. You never drift toward anything good. So don't drift this year. Get intentional. Put your life in gear. Accelerate toward a dream. Let that dream anchor your life on something, and then accelerate your life toward something great. You see, when you put your life in neutral, you're losing. If your marriage is in neutral, it's dying. Dream together as a couple. If you're a parent, get intentional this year and just say, you know what, this year I'm not going to just take my kids to an amusement park. No, there's nothing wrong with that. But listen, just say, you know what, I'm not just going to take my kids to an amusement park and blow money on stuffed animals that we're going to sell at a garage sale in 2 years. No. This year we're going to go to a third world country. We're going to help people who won't make in 1 year what we make in 1 week. If you're single, don't be in neutral. If you're single, hey, congratulations. That means you've got more time, more discretionary income, and more energy to spend on a big dream. Start a business. Help a nonprofit. Think beyond your schedule. Think significance. Think beyond a calendar. What is your conviction? And get laser focused. Laser focus your time and your energy and your effort into a great dream. This one thing I do. So get a dream. Write it down. And then tell a few close friends. Why? Writing it down makes you accountable to it. This is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going with my life. And then telling other people, it creates a group of people who not only can they also keep you accountable, but they can also affirm you and encourage the dream that you have. So when I decided Mount Kilimanjaro was the dream, I wrote it down. And I told some other people. Now listen, remember your dream is going to take work. Dreams take effort because going up takes work. Going up takes effort. Going up takes resolve. And the new year is a great time for a new resolution to say, you know what, my life's going up. I'm not going to drift anymore. I'm not going to stay in neutral. So I hope you're ready for the climb. What is your dream? What are you fixing your mind on? Because whatever has your attention has you. And I put a picture of Mount Kilimanjaro in my office. And I was like, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm going to accomplish. And once you have a dream, write it down. And then all the goals under it will get you there. So what dream do you want to reach? If you say, well, you know what, I don't really have a dream for my relationships. I don't have a dream for my friendships. I don't really have a dream for my finances. I don't really have a dream for my kids. Then listen, if you say, I don't even know what I want the next 5 years of my life to look like, then you're just going to stay in the valley. And we just want to stay in the valley of everybody else's opinions. Just want to stay in the valley of average. Just want to stay in the valley of, well, everybody else is doing this. You just want to stay in the valley of, well, everybody else is buying one of these. You want to stay in the valley of, everybody else is thinking this way about this. No. Don't stay in the valley of everybody else is doing it. Everybody else has this perspective. You'll never get a glimpse of what you can be, what is possible, what you can become, what you can achieve until you get a dream. So take some time over the next few days. Write down a dream. Write down a dream for your marriage. Write down a dream. If you're single, write down a dream for your future marriage. Write down a dream for your finances. If you're a parent, write down a dream for your kids. Everyone listening to this can write down a dream for your physical health. Write down a dream for your mental health. Write down a dream for your spiritual health. Then tell somebody. Listen, this is not just, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. This is not just, I'm going to pray more. Those are goals. Get a dream that says, you know what, this year, I'm going to be different. This chapter of my life is going to be different. I'm not going to drift. I'm not going to coast. I'm going to get my life in gear. I'm going to focus my life on positive things. I'm going to be a force for good in this world. I'm going to push back darkness with the light and love of Jesus. I'm going to impact in a positive way every person I come in contact with. I'm going to bring out the best in others because I'm going to be the best version of myself that I can possibly be. I'm going to work toward a dream. I'm going to start climbing. I'm going to scale the mountain of significance. I'm going to experience God's best. I'm going to live up to the unique potential my Creator designed me to experience. When you get a dream and you aim your life in a very intentional, laser-focused way, you start to climb. Life starts going up. You get a whole different view of your life, your time, and your potential, and your relationships. Now listen, you can't do everything, but you can do almost anything given enough time and enough tenacity and writing down a dream. And you can't help everybody in the whole world, but you can help somebody in your world. So this year, don't stay in the valley of other people's opinions. Don't stay in the valley of average. Life's an adventure. Life's a climb. So get a dream, and I can't wait to see where your climb's going to take you. Now, when you climb Mount Kilimanjaro, you have to fly all the way to Tanzania. It takes 24 hours to get from Texas to Tanzania. And then you start to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. You got to go through every climate on earth. Go through rainforest, wilderness, tundra, desert, and Arctic. There's even a 9-story glacier on top of Mount Kilimanjaro. And there's several routes to get up. We took the hardest one called Umwe, and we packed in all our gear. It takes about 6 to 8 days to climb up. We did it in 6 days. Man, that last night, summit night, you have to go up 4,000 vertical feet. And we climbed from midnight to 7 a.m. And we wanted to get there by sunrise. And we had to climb nonstop for 7 hours. And when we started, it was about negative 20 degrees, but the gusty winds give you a wind chill that feels like negative 40. It was miserable. It was work. But 6 days later, here's a pic of me and my oldest son at the top with that sign behind us that says, "You are now at the tallest point in Africa." And here we are at the top. You know how we got there? We had a dream. I decided this is where I'm going to go, and this is where I'm going to take my son. And I shouldn't have been surprised. That's exactly where I ended up because it was what I was aiming for. So, what are you aiming for? You want to have an amazing year? You want to have an amazing life? Aim for something significant. Get a dream. Thank you so much for joining us today on Monday Motivation. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with a friend, and we'll see you next week.